Are you meant to spend the rest of your life alone? It's a question a lot of people ask, especially late at night when you're lying in bed alone, or after another failed relationship or a disappointing date. It's a question you might ask, especially as you get older, when you've been alone for many years and it seems like time is running out. And maybe you've started to believe that it's just your fate to be alone. But before you resign yourself to that fate, let's slow down for a moment and explore this a little more deeply. Now, I think it's important, first of all, to acknowledge that the future is ultimately unknown. Even when we feel quite certain of what the future holds, the fact is we don't really know. All we can do is guess. And I'm not going to tell you, don't worry, you'll find someone, because I don't know that. And you've probably heard that line more times than you can count, often from people who mean well, but don't really understand how empty it can sound when you've been alone for so long. But I'm also not going to affirm the belief that you'll always be alone, because I don't know that either. The fact is, both of these are uncertainties. But what I will say is that by believing that you're destined to be alone, you're much more likely to create the conditions by which that belief becomes a reality. Most of us don't realize the power of our beliefs and how our beliefs can influence and shape our circumstances. And I'm not talking here about some kind of mystical, magical, supernatural force. I'm just talking about basic psychology. What many of us may not be aware of is how our beliefs affect our behavior. The way that we carry ourselves, the way that we speak, the way that we engage with other people, and so on. And when you have self-deprecating beliefs like, I'm not good enough, or I'm ugly, or I'm just not worthy of love, or whatever the belief might be, these insecurities are communicated through our body language, through our facial expressions, and the tone in which we speak. And the people we encounter receive the message. It's like our subconscious mind is communicating with their subconscious mind. And it's telling them that you don't think you're good enough. And so other people pick up on our insecurities. They can sense that there's something about you that just doesn't feel right. There's something that they find unsettling or uncomfortable. And maybe they're not even sure what it is because, as I said, this communication is happening at a subconscious level. But the point is that if you don't feel comfortable with yourself, other people will tend not to feel comfortable around you. And if other people don't feel comfortable around you, they're not going to want to be around you. The people that we like to be around most are the people we feel most comfortable with. We like people who are relaxed with themselves. We like people who are outgoing, who are happy and confident. We like people who have a positive outlook on life. But if you're someone who is self-deprecating or needy, or you have a negative attitude about life, or you just have an energy about you which is awkward and uncomfortable, these characteristics tend to push people away. We tend to think that attraction is all about looks, but it actually has a great deal to do with energy and how people feel when they're around you. And I'm not saying that looks aren't important to some degree, but the most attractive quality about a person is actually confidence. And confidence doesn't need to be based on what you look like. It's based on how you feel about yourself. And the way that you feel about yourself has a lot to do with the beliefs that you carry. So once again, if we've been carrying these beliefs that we're inadequate or unworthy or what have you, it's worth examining those beliefs and questioning their validity. And the fact that you're alone right now means you have a lot of time to explore these things. I've spent a lot of time alone, and I've learned to appreciate that time as an opportunity to get to know myself more deeply, to spend that time learning about myself and working through a lot of personal issues and insecurities. But essentially, being alone is a valuable opportunity to heal and grow. And if you can learn to embrace that opportunity, it can change you in ways that you can't even imagine. It could even lead to becoming the sort of person that others admire, that others want to be around. But first, you have to embrace being alone. You have to learn to be comfortable being alone and even to appreciate the time you have alone. And there's really a lot of benefits to being alone. For example, you don't have a partner that you have to consult with on every decision, what to eat, where to go, what to do with your time, and so on. You don't have to organize your schedule around someone else. You can come and go as you please. You can spend your time doing the things that you enjoy without feeling that you might be neglecting your partner. When you're in a relationship, there are so many ways that we can wind up compromising ourselves. There's so many ways that we might restrict ourselves in order not to upset the other. And so there's really a great deal of freedom in being alone. And I'm not suggesting that being alone is better than being in a relationship. They both have their unique benefits. The point is simply that whichever situation you happen to find yourself in, make the best of it. But since you're alone right now, use this time to explore. Use this time to engage in activities that you enjoy, to discover your passion, to learn about things that interest you, or to pursue your dreams. Use this time to work through insecurities and heal emotional wounds. Use this time to learn how to love and accept yourself, and to let go of the belief that you need someone else to make you happy. Discover your own joy, a joy that comes from within you, a joy which doesn't depend on anything outside of yourself. And what's interesting is that when you come into that space of self-acceptance, that space of contentment, that space in which you're enthusiastically engaged in the things that you enjoy, when you're in that space where you're no longer desperate to find someone, that's when someone's much more likely to take notice of you. Because that's when you're the most carefree and relaxed. That's when you're just being yourself, living your life, pursuing your passion or sharing your gifts. Or maybe you're simply at peace with yourself and not needing to do anything at all except exist. And in that space, you're radiating joy and confidence. And that's when people are most drawn to you. They're drawn to that kind of energy. It's that kind of energy that makes you attractive because people want to share in that energy. And even if for some reason you still wind up spending the rest of your life alone, if you've learned to be content with being alone, it won't be so bad. But the fact that you're alone right now is an immense opportunity, but only if you're open to it. So I encourage you to embrace this opportunity. If you really want to be happy, it's not going to come from some other person. It has to come from you. But you have to have the willingness to embrace where you are at this moment. As for the future, who knows what might happen? But the future depends a great deal on the present. How you live in the present is what determines the future. But to really live in the present, you can't be obsessing over the future, over what you think may or may not happen, because then you're not giving your attention to what is right in front of you. And this is where life happens. It happens right here, right now, in the present moment. So I encourage you to embrace life here in the present moment and to make the best of the situation, whatever the situation happens to be. To learn to enjoy life with or without a partner. To not make your happiness dependent upon anyone else, but to realize that your happiness depends on you. You hold the key to your happiness. Neither of us can say with any certainty whether or not you're going to spend the rest of your life alone. The only person that you're guaranteed to spend the rest of your life with is you. So make yourself a good companion. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Speak to yourself with love and encouragement, and learn to enjoy your own company.